Welcome to Agape. We're a spiritual center that teaches how to better self-love through conscious living. The main focus is practical spirituality based on the teachings of Ernest Holmes and the science of mind, and also some Zen Buddhism, accepting life as it is and processing every moment, letting it move through you, building a life without attachment, because we understand attachment to desires is the source of all of our suffering. But we're here to experience life. And so the things that we teach are affirmations, mantras, meditation, the power of directed thinking. And so let's start off before we get into today's conversation with just closing your eyes for just a moment. Comfortable position. Upright, back straight, hands gently resting on your lap. Now gently take a long, slow, deep breath in. And as you let it go, begin to let your mind relax. Take another long, slow, deep breath in. And this time on the exhale, release any stress, any tension. 3. Take another long, slow, deep breath in. And as you exhale, let go of all thoughts and fall deeper and deeper into relaxation. Notice that with each breath you take, you're becoming more and more relaxed. And notice that the more relaxed you become, there's a sense of freedom that happens. This freedom happens because to relax, you come out of judgment. When there is no judgment, you're fully present in the moment. There's nothing to think, nothing to say, nothing to do. Thoughts come in and thoughts go out with no attachment to them. You begin to understand that the mind just thinks. And it's your preferences that hold on to thoughts. But if you can let go of the attachment to the preferences, thoughts come in and thoughts go out. And you understand that you can release the past, release the anxiety of the future, and you can begin to be fully present in this moment where life is truly happening. What is it you need to let go of? Gently bring it to your mind and realize that what you need to let go of is a perception that the mind has created. It's just a thought. It's not real. It's just a thought. Now imagine yourself letting it go. Like a leaf that you're placing in the river. And as you place it in the river, the current gently takes it away. You can use that visualization for anything you want to pass through your mind. Just simply see it, place it on that leaf, and let it float away. And you find that when you do, you're even better off because it's no longer a weight that you're carrying, a weight that's clouding your vision of life. So having embraced this idea of freedom from the past, you can come back into the now, where life is truly happening, where life is only happening. So gently now, bring your awareness back into your fingers. Maybe move your fingers, move your toes, maybe stretch, however that is for you. And when you're ready, open your eyes, put a smile on your face. Today, I thought we'd discuss breaking free of false loyalty. Stop betraying yourself and start living authentically. You see, are you a loyal person? I am. And I realized that sometimes that loyalty was causing me a lot of problems. So I thought we'd explore that today. You see, loyalty is not the problem. Loyalty, when grounded in love and truth and integrity, it's beautiful. It builds families, it builds friendships and communities. But false loyalty binds us to the illusions, expectations, outdated beliefs, people, or systems that no longer serve our highest good. You may have someone that's been a friend of yours since childhood, but all they do is complain. And every time you're with them, when you leave them, you feel down, you feel miserable. But you say, I've got to be loyal. What's the price you're paying? You're allowing them to affect your energy, affect your mood, affect how you see the world. So let's look at this. What is false loyalty? False loyalty is when we remain attached to ideas, people, or traditions, not out of love or conscious choice, but out of fear, habit, or expectation. Are you fearful that your Aunt Bessie will tell the family that you didn't act in a specific way that she wanted? Are you fearful about anything? The second you're fearful, it's time to give up attachment to it because it's not loving. Love and fear are the exact opposites of each other. False loyalty is when we conform to avoid discomfort. When we say yes, when our soul is screaming no. You ever done that? I did that in the corporate world. I would be there to hire someone, and I look at the resume and it said yes, 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 yes. My gut, my intuition was screaming at me, don't hire them. Bad hire, wrong energy. But the resume was good. I regretted both of the hires that I did that on. I didn't do it a third time. And I hired a lot of people. But I never did it a third time. It took me two. That intuition says, it's almost like my mother, when she was alive. Today would have been her 100th birthday. She died, though, what is it now, 14 years ago. My mom would say to me, Lee, you've got to call your brother Ron more. My brother Ron was a year and a half younger than I am. You need to call Ron. You need to call Ron. You need to call Ron. Well, Ron was one of the most angry, miserable, dark people in the world. And there was no way nothing would change. And I told my mom, I gave up. I call him once a year, and that's the only time I call him. And my mom didn't understand. I said, Mom, I don't need that in my life. My mom kept it in her life, and she was miserable because of it. I limited it. I put a boundary around it. I realized that my brother's happiness was not my responsibility. It was his. I'd done my best in my younger years to work with my brother. It could no longer. I had to give up my loyalty to my family, to my brother, because my soul said it wasn't mine to do. You see, it's when we hold back our truth to protect someone else's feelings or to maintain an illusion of harmony. Social media today, if you look at it, you think people are having the most beautiful relationships in the world. People say, Lee, you and Jean, you have the best relationship. You're always getting along. Let me tell you something. We have our challenges just like everyone else. It may not be getting along, but it could be other things. But we're challenged, and we're constantly being pushed. How do we maintain our integrity and literally love and support each other while going through our own different ways of growth and expansion? Because if you've been following me for a while, you understand I believe that relationships, the only purpose to them is to grow and to expand. And you do that through sharing and having fun as well. But it's not that they complete you. My wife does not complete me. My wife does not make me whole. I make me whole. She makes herself whole. And we get that and we understand that. And there's work involved. So where does this false loyalty show up? Here's a good one. Staying in a job that drains your spirit because you don't want to disappoint your boss, your colleagues, or your family. I was in those jobs. I left them, thank God. I've been out of the corporate world now going on 21 years. I've never been happier because I'm doing what I love. Many people have said, Lee, you should be retired. You should have retired, my God, 8 years ago. I says, I'm not near retirement. I'm about to start another business. I love what I do. I'm doing my job. I'm not staying in a job that drains me. How else does it show up? Maintaining toxic relationships out of a sense of duty or obligation. For my wife, that was a relationship with her mom and dad, extremely toxic. She had to limit it. And she broke away from it for 5 years and then allowed it to come back in a couple times a year. And by the time her mom and dad passed, she was at peace with it. But she couldn't be in the relationship. It was too toxic. Maybe you're in a marriage that's toxic and there's no hope. And you say, I'm obligated because of kids. A lot of times you stay in a relationship that's so toxic that you're setting a bad example for the kids and they just start reliving the same thing you were living when you should have pulled away. When should you pull away? I don't know. Only you would know that. But I will say this. If there's physical abuse, get the hell out right now. Emotional abuse, you don't deserve that. You choose. How else does it show up? Upholding outdated family traditions because it's just the way things are done. There are family traditions that just don't work anymore. Break them. The way you eat, family, we've got to have we always drink at a wake. Shot in a beer, shot in a beer, shot in a beer. That's my Polish side of the family. I gave that up. I didn't feel good when I did a shot in a beer. What do you mean I'm celebrating my grandmother doing that? No, I'm not. I'm getting drunk. Another one is agreeing with societal norms, even when they contradict your values just to fit in. Here's one, politics. I'm a Democrat. I've got to accept everything the Democratic Party says. I'm a Republican. I've got to accept everything that the Republican Party says so I can fit into the realm of being a Republican or a Democrat. Here's what I say. I'm an independent. And some of the things the Republicans like, I like. Some of the things the Republicans like, I don't like. Some of the things the Democrats like, I like. Some of the things the Democrats like, I don't like. I don't want to be put into a box. I don't care about society's norms. You weren't here to fit in. You were here to stand out. Every time you or I or anyone chooses false loyalty, we betray ourselves. We betray ourselves because we've forgotten that each person on this planet that ever was or ever will be was created unique. There will never be two people alike. They will not look alike. They will not act alike. They will not feel alike. They will not have the same life experiences. Everyone is unique. When you choose false loyalty, you're giving up your truth. You're giving up who you are. And that is the worst sacrifice you can make in the world. So why do we stay loyal to these illusions? Here's the big one. We fear being judged. We fear criticism. We fear abandonment. We fear change. Do you notice that judgment, criticism, abandonment, and change, do they have anything to do with love? Love is the awareness and acceptance of our wholeness, the awareness and acceptance of the wholeness of others, that everyone is on their path of self-discovery, of experiencing life. Doesn't mean you have to like them. In fact, you may not, probably don't, but it's okay. You've got to give them the ability to do as they do. It's also, we fear being seen as selfish, ungrateful, or rebellious. I've been called all of those. And you know what? I don't care what other people think, because at the end of the day, I'm on my journey. I'm clear about where I'm going. I'm not here to live up to your expectations. I'm here to live up to mine. And in doing so, I'm an example. You want to not be rebellious and you want to fit in? Look at what the average person is experiencing. Do you want to experience that, or do you want to have a fulfilling life? I'm grateful for everything that happens to me, good or bad, because everything that happens to me is giving me an experience of life from which I grow and I learn. Am I being selfish? Let me just say this. Everything begins and ends with you. Self-love is where everything starts. Until you love and accept yourself, you can't love and accept anyone else, and you can't love and accept life. So yeah, it is about you. But it's also the other person has the same right. You're not special over someone else. You're only special to yourself. I love this. The Zen practice of acceptance teaches us to see things as they are and to strip away the illusions. What are the illusions? Our perceptions of things. Religious science shows us that we have the power to create our reality. So why would we choose to create a life built on illusions? Because we don't understand the power of our own thinking. We don't understand the power of deliberate focus, conscious and unconscious focus. Ernest Holmes said in The Science of Mind very clearly, you have a problem, you want to fix a problem, turn 180 degrees away from the problem. Turn away from lack and turn to growth. If you're looking at a situation and you're not seeing how is it expansive, you're seeing it as contractive. Contraction is not love. Love is about growth. I like to look at every single thing. So when some challenge hits me, what can I do to grow? What's the solution that will allow me to grow? So what's the cost of false loyalty? Number one, it costs our authenticity. We give up our truth. We give up who we are. We sacrifice that which makes us great. It also costs us our peace of mind because we're constantly analyzing everything. We're constantly judging ourselves and constantly accepting ourselves and finding ways to grow and to expand in that. It costs us our potential because we're stuck. We're not looking at new possibilities. And new possibilities is where all new life happens. It costs us our freedom because we're bound by this idea we must be loyal. We can't be free in the moment. It costs us our well-being, our health, our peace of mind. Think about it. Is the cost of false loyalty worth it when you're sacrificing your ability to be authentic, to be peaceful, to have all that magnificent infinite potential available and you see it, and have the freedom to act on it, and then at the end of the day to go to bed with a sense of well-being? Is that false loyalty worth it? You see, false loyalty keeps you stuck in roles and identities that were never yours to begin with. It's actually a self-inflicted prison. So how do we break free? This is the work. And this is not easy, but this is the work. First, get real with yourself. Decide what's really important to you. What really is, who are you? What are your 3 to 4 or 5 highest values, the things you value most in the world? Understand, then get real. Am I living to them or am I fooling myself? This is the real thing about getting real with yourself. Am I fooling myself about what I'm doing, who I'm with, and how I'm doing that? Get real. Then own your truth. Own that you are this point of consciousness, that you're this awareness. And that, yeah, maybe you've made some mistakes. Fine, own it. Own that you have the freedom to choose. Own that you have the power to create. Own your truth. This is the hard one. Be willing to walk alone and be willing to walk away. At the end of the day, you were born alone, and when you die, you'll die alone as a point of consciousness. But the fact of the matter is, you're never really alone because you're connected to infinite awareness and consciousness. It's the illusion of the ego that you're alone. Always, always choose authenticity over approval. And sometimes being authentic means soften it down. You don't have to go boasting or yelling about, no, I'm my unique self. No, that's not how it works. But you find a way to choose you, to be authentically you, and you don't care what anyone else says. Your own choice of being authentic is more than enough approval that you'll ever need. You see, real loyalty is grounded in truth. It's when you show up fully as you are and you allow others to do the same. It's loyalty to love, not fear. It's loyalty to your soul's calling, not to societal expectations. Loyalty to love. Isn't that not the most beautiful thing you could be loyal to? No matter whether it's with yourself, others, or with life, that's where you want to be loyal. You see, you have the power to choose your path, to create your reality, and to break free of the illusions. Break free of the false loyalties. So I always leave you with a question. And the question I'm going to leave you with today is, who has the power in your life? And is it time to reclaim it? And be loyal to the divine soul within you, to a glorious and grand and self-fulfilling life. That's right. Only you have that power. I want to thank you for joining me today. If you're interested in plugging in with us, go to agapespiritualcenter.com. In a few weeks, we're going to be starting some new classes in our online Zoom. That's when we really go deep. We also have a women's retreat coming up in April. You might want to plug in for that, ladies. You can also see on the calendar all the things we offer on Zoom, daily meditations, gatherings, all of the things that are available to you. And if this message touched you, go to the Giving tab, make a donation, support us, because it's through your gifts that we're able to keep this message going out into the world. And I'm telling you, I believe we need this message more now than ever. So with that, I thank you for being here. I thank you for your giving, and I thank you for taking time to look into your own heart to find out how you can be more